So, ooh, who's calling? Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. My bestie was calling me on Facebook Messenger, and she lives in Florida, and I'm like, oh God, let me take this because But then, kind of find out, she called me talking about, did you just call me bestie? Did you call me a little while ago? Because I saw you were live, and I was like, oh my God, I meant to call somebody else. So I called the wrong person, and that's why she called me back. But yeah, I let me stop real quick and just give my condolences. Um, that family, she just brought that back to my memory. My bestie, because she lives in Florida, and as some of y'all have already heard, there was a teenage boy, 14 years old, from St. Louis, Missouri. He died Thursday night, a few days ago, after he fell from this free fall drop tower ride at Icon Park in Orlando. And his name is Tyre Sampson. He was 14 years old. And when I say my heart truly goes out to that man, when I say my heart truly goes out to that family, I cannot imagine um going through what they're going through. And I actually saw the video. Like, the video is circulating around. Um the ride goes up to like 430 feet, but the boy, when he fell out the ride, it had came down like halfway. You know how on rides they go up, then they come down, stop, go up, come down, stop, come down. You know that ride, that type of ride. The ones I would never. And my bestie was just telling me, she said, "Girl, I've been on that ride, but I've been on the one in a different city down there in Florida, not the one in Orlando where the boy died." But it just it's so sad, and I'm just, my heart goes out to the family who lost that teenage boy, 14 years old. And I was seeing some really negative, harsh posts, people saying, "Well, that boy, he should have known he was too big. His family, the people who he was lit with, should have known he was too big to get on that ride." And I'm like, really? That's what y'all gotta say about this 14-year-old? Like, I don't know if y'all saw the video. Some of y'all who probably saw the video like I did, I was just like, the person who recorded the video, he didn't know that was coming. He had friends who was getting on the ride, and he was like, "Hell no, I ain't getting on that ride, but I'll record y'all asses getting on the ride." So he was recording them from the time they got in, strapped themselves up. When he was recording it, somebody was on the rise. I think it was his friends, and they were saying, "Is this good enough? Aren't we supposed to have another seat belt? We got a harness, but aren't we supposed to have a seat belt or something to guarantee, that we don't fall out or get hurt?" And the ride person or the employee, he was like, "No, that's all it is. It's just a harness or whatever." And so they was like, "Okay." And so the guy recording his friends, he saw them go up, 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 all the way up to 430 feet. Then they start to come down. And I'm watching this video, and I'm like, "Can I watch it? Can I watch it? Can I watch it?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I'm strong enough to watch this." But I watched it because I wanted to see uh, everything that happened, and to see that boy, as soon as the ride came down and stopped, the boy just fell out the ride from the harness. And I don't know if the harness wasn't all the way put in place. And the boy, he is a nice size, healthy 14-year-old. And I can imagine um if the harness didn't fit right around him. But I'm not going to say, "Oh, well, it's his parents' fault." I mean, some of the comments I saw, they shouldn't let him get that big. He's 14 years old. He's way too big for his size. And they was just saying all kind of hurtful things. And I was like, "Oh, but you know what? It's always going to be trolls on the internet. It's always going to be somebody out there who got something negative to say. Instead of throwing up a prayer, throwing up a few condolences, and supporting them like that, they want to say something negative." But my heart goes out to that family. And when I saw that, every time I hear about somebody dying on an amusement park ride, it brings me back to when my oldest son, who's now 25, um, well, he'll actually be 25 next month. Uh, but I think when he was probably around 8, maybe 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. His dad had took him to amusement park without me. And so, he had permission, of course, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't go. But his dad had took him to the amusement park for somebody's birthday party or something, somebody's kid or his friend's kids or something. And when my son came home, he was like, Mom, I was on this ride, and he said my seatbelt wasn't all the way connected. And I'm like, what you mean your seatbelt wasn't all the way connected? He said, Mom, they came around and they put the seatbelt on me and they pulled it down and everything, but I didn't realize it wasn't all the way connected until the ride started moving. And I'm like, what the hell? Now I'm panicking. I'm thinking the worst. Now my child is at home in front of me, but I'm still thinking the worst. And I'm like, well, what happened? And he said, when the ride started moving, the harness just kept on trying to lift up. And he said, Mom, I was holding on for dear life. Mind you, my child was 8 or 9 years old. Okay. He was really small. But I don't know how he managed to hold the harness down. Of course, it wasn't one of those type of rides that go up 430 feet in the air, but you know how them rides go. They fast, And so, I mean, I was just like, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord, thank you. I mean, and then I called and cussed his dad out. When I say I cussed that nigger out, I cussed him out because I'm like, how the hell you put your kid on a ride and you don't make sure it's secure? I don't leave that up to I don't leave that up to the staff. I never did. I never did. And when I used to take my kids to amusement park, whether it was Worlds of Fun or wherever, no matter Ventureland, Peony Park, when that used to be, what else we got here? I forgot the name of that other one. Play. I can't remember, but I make sure I see. Even when we went to places like Worlds of Fun, the staff, the attendants they did not like me at all. Now me, I don't like rides, but I would allow my kids to ride them. But I would go all the way up there with them in the line. I would make sure their stuff is secured. I'd be shaking on it, pulling on it, all that kind of stuff. And then the staff would be like, oh, you're not getting on too? Nope, excuse me. I'm about to go walk right back off of here. And I did that every ride they was on. So the kids was just so annoyed. Like, oh my God, Mom, do you really have to do this every ride we get on? And I'm like, well, remember that time when your dad took you to amusement park and your harness wasn't all the way and you held on for dear life? He said, I was scared, Mom. He said, I was scared I was going to fall and get hurt. But thank God he didn't. So when I see these stories of these kids, like the 14-year-old who died the other day, I mean, he fell really far. And if you see the video, you could just tell that probably every bone in his body was probably broken or fractured. I mean, they said his arms looked like they were broke. His legs looked like they were broke. He was bleeding from his feet. His blood was coming out of his shoes. So he probably had, bones just sticking out his skin. I mean, it's awful. It's awful, y'all. So, those amusement park rides, they're fun. They're fun, but you have to do your due diligence and you have to make sure you are secure. And if you have children, even if they might get annoyed by you making sure they are secured and going behind the staff just to double check, hey, it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. It's really worth it in the end. So again, my heart goes out to that family. His name was Tyre Sampson. He was from Missouri. And that's just heartbreaking.